Is there any plans in the future to expand the cockpit to be able to have more passengers?
We've designed Lynx for a single pilot and a single passenger, mostly because we think that was the smallest vehicle that we could build, which could provide a reliable stream of revenue once it was built. And there are certainly possibilities for follow-on vehicles which would have a larger capacity, but I expect that the next vehicle we build after Lynx, rather than being larger in terms of payload capacity, will probably be higher performance in terms of altitude and airspeed that it can reach. There's always a chance, depending on how the market turns out, that we'll decide we want a larger Lynx, but I expect that we'll probably stay relatively small in the payload category for a while. Still large enough to make a revenue, make a profit, but probably in the one pilot, one spaceflight participant regime for a while. And that also lets us fly a whole range of scientific payloads. We can fly experiments which weigh roughly 100 kilograms in the same place that participant would be sitting otherwise. We can fly external payloads, and we think there's quite a few different markets that we can serve with the current vehicle size.
Interesting. I know that there are some plans to for the payload bay that would be on the top of the Lynx vehicle to have the EXO telescope and several other payloads. But what about actually having another satellite launcher within that? Is that a thing with you guys? Are you guys really wanting to do that, or?
Yeah, absolutely. We do have plans to eventually put an upper stage nanosat launcher on top of Lynx. That will be a future evolved version of Lynx, but essentially we'll have an upper stage optimized for vacuum, which will be enclosed in a shroud on top of a high performance version of Lynx. We'll fly that version of Lynx up to altitude, up into vacuum, open up the shroud, and launch that upper stage out. Payload capacity is roughly in the neighborhood of about 5 kilograms to orbit. That's what we're projecting at this point. And that is something that we intend to do. It's not going to be the first version of Lynx that we build, but we do think that is a market we can serve, and again, we can make the customers happy and make some profit ourselves. So that is something that we intend to go after.
Well, tell me, what is the most important thing that people need to know about XCOR right now?
How about a few of the most important things people need to know about XCOR?
That's fine.
All right. I think probably the best way to sum up XCOR at this point is that we have quite a bit of experience operating rocket engines. We've built and fired 11 distinct engines over the past 12 years. I think we have almost 4,000 runs and about 8 hours of rocket engine runtime built up over that decade. So we're quite experienced with engines. We've also, condensed our engine systems down to the point where they can be flown, and we've flown manned rocket-powered vehicles 66 times. And, our current project is basically taking that engine and that flight experience and combining it with a new custom airframe, which will let us go up to the edge of space. So we think we have a lot of the operational and the reliability ingredients that we need to provide a much lower cost space access service than has been seen before. And, we expect to have big news in roughly the next year as we get our first custom airframe flying. And once that is flying, it'll really unlock the potential of those rocket engines that we've built over the past decade. So I guess the bottom line is it's going to be a very exciting year for XCOR. We've had a lot of the work that we've done since the company was started is really coming to fruition with Lynx, and we expect to learn a lot with flight test, and we expect to have a lot to talk about next year.